So I'll give you an example. I had a client who works in a big organization, and there was someone who was joining her team. She had not even met this person, but only communication was through email, and she started feeling this anger towards this person and feeling that everything that person was saying or doing was disrespectful. And we went into the past lives, and there was a past life in which this person had murdered this person.
Welcome, Dr. Manjot. Thank you so much for coming on Bebeyondblissful. Tell us something about yourself.
Well, my name is Dr. Manjot Garcha. I'm from India. I've been in Australia for around 15 years now. I come from a family where most of the women, my mom, my aunts, were teachers. And when I was young, I thought I would like to be a teacher, an educator. And then there's this funny story where my cousin came and she was learning palm reading. And she said, "Oh, you're going to be a healer. You're going to be a doctor." So that idea sort of stuck in my head. Then when time came, I had the option to choose between the dental and the Ayurveda. And I thought Ayurveda seems pretty interesting. It is a holistic science, looks at the whole person. And that's how I chose Ayurveda. When I was in year 10, my father had a major accident and he was in coma for 3 months. At that time, we were trying everything to help him recover because the doctors were not very positive about his recovery. And my mom invited a Reiki master, and he came, and we are from a Sikh family. And he was sitting there doing Reiki, and he said to my mom, "Oh, do you know that your Guru Nanak Dev Ji is standing behind you?" I was 14 at that time, and that somehow stuck. And that is when I started on this journey of meditation, and I did Reiki at that point of time. When I came to Australia, I got an opportunity to bring both of them together. So now it is hard to put myself in boxes, but I am a trained Ayurvedic practitioner. I'm a Reiki master teacher. I've also done intuitive guide and spiritual directorship training here in Australia. But I would like to say I'm like intuitive healer.
Intuitive healer.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Yes.
So, why Ayurveda? I understand why Reiki because you have something personal attached to it. Why Ayurveda? Because it's very unconventional, especially in your age when you were growing up in that era. It was either doctor, dentist, or gynecologist, or so something like that. What made you choose?
Well, I would call it destiny. And it was more like Ayurveda chose me rather than I chose it. As you know, yes, the idea was to become a doctor. Once I got into Ayurveda, then I could see like how everything is coming together in Ayurveda. Like they talk about the body, mind and soul and healing all the aspects of the self. And I deeply believe that we don't choose Ayurveda, Ayurveda chooses us. And it sort of just comes to you when the time is right, whether you're trying to learn and train or whether you're looking for a healing. It comes at just the right time in everyone's life.
You're so right. Everything in our life, we think we are the ones making the decisions. This is my personal perspective. I don't think I have chosen anything. I think the path has chosen me. So things have come to me when I was ready, when I was open. Generally, the norm is people, they are trying to do something else. Destiny or life has something else for them. So the universe is trying to give you something, but you're knocking on the wrong door. So that's very nice that you shared and you said that Ayurveda chose you. I think it's a great message.
It's very interesting. In Ayurveda, diseases are called rog, which comes from the Sanskrit root dhatu ruk. Ruk means pain, that which brings pain. And dukh also is opposite of sukh, of happiness. And in Ayurveda, they say that the cause for dukh is icha or dvesh. So whenever we have expectations and our expectations are not met, that is when the pain comes. It's very interesting. I was listening to Pai Satpal Singh and he also explained it in a beautiful way. Hukam. Hukam is the reality. And what we teach in intuitive healing is one of the important part of the healing journey is acceptance. Till the time we are putting the blame, this happened to me, this caused this sickness, this is causing me misery, we will stay trapped in that cycle. But the minute we go into acceptance, it is what it is. So we are not trying to say this was good or bad or it shouldn't have happened. We are simply saying this happened. That is where the answer is, because in Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Dev Ji has given us the technique to live. If you stay in that acceptance of this is what it is happening, it has a purpose, it has a reason, and just being present with it, lot of our pain and misery will go away.
Absolutely. So my Reiki healer has always been Guru Nanak Dev Ji. And I believe that he has opened so many different paths for me. So tell us, when did you come to Australia and how did you start your practice here?
Mine was an arranged marriage and my husband was already settled in Australia. So I came to Australia as a new bride and I was in Adelaide first. I had my son. And when he was 2 years old, we moved to Melbourne. So I looked for the opportunities and I got it in the form of a homeopathic clinic as an Ayurvedic doctor there.
Here?
In Heidelberg.
Okay.
That clinic has closed now. So I worked there for 1 year and set up my Ayurvedic practice there. And then I felt I was ready to start my own clinic, which is in Preston. Essence Ayurveda, the name also came through meditation. I asked Guru Nanak Dev Ji what should be the name and I saw the words. The most interesting part is my spiritual journey was my own. And I always kept Ayurveda in a separate box, that's my profession. So in Australia, we don't have, at that time, there weren't that many therapists. And what happened when I would start doing the therapies, Reiki would start flowing. And then as I was doing, there was a part of me which was observing the client from the Ayurvedic perspective. But another part of me was diving into the subconscious and telling me they're holding grief here. This is not right. Energy is not flowing here. And I was like, this is interesting. So that's when they both started merging.
So this is when you are treating the people?
Yes.
So what therapy are you giving them when you feel that your Reiki is flowing through?
So we do what is called Abhyang and Pind Swed in Ayurveda. We have herb bags, we dip them in hot Ayurvedic oils, do the massage and give the heat with the bags. We do Shirodhara, in which we do a head massage and then pour the oil on the head. We do Kati Basti, like for sciatica, lower back pain, where we put a dough around the vertebra that is affected and put warm oil in that to help it heal. It didn't matter. As soon as I touched the client, information started coming through. I wasn't expecting that to happen.
Tell me something, was it scary at any point?
There have been a few incidents in the beginning when I was worried. Like one of the main things when I started was that validation. What will the person think? But as I kept on doing it, I started getting validation. The information that I was receiving was right. And now I feel like confident in saying this is what's happening. But like I said, it's changed a lot. Now people come to me, we want that spiritual healing. So they want what I am doing now. The thing with Reiki is it's beautiful. It's like it helps you to grow to a point, and when you get to that point, it expands you. So many times I've done healings which were intuitively guided. Things just came to me, do it like this, do it like this. And then I would, after 2 weeks, read a book in which the exact technique would be described as shamanic Reiki or some other form of energy healing. I'm not a medium, but sometimes the loved ones have shown up in the sessions as well. And information started coming through. Then I got to the point where the past life started coming up and I had no idea what to do with that information. And that's interesting because that's when I got to know about the intuitive guide course. That was really good in helping me tap into the Akashic library and how to resolve the issues of the past life. The thing is, because once you work with someone, families start coming, and then you work with young kids as well. And you're doing a sort of a counseling as well, but you're giving them the tools how to connect with their heart. That's what I feel I do most. Like I help people reconnect with themselves. So I started calling my massages Ayurvedic intuitive body work rather than just a massage.
But what do you think or what do you get when you see me? Please, honest, and I'm okay. It's being recorded. I'm very happy actually it's being recorded. So please.
Yeah, that's all right. I had a very funny incident once. I was working on the client and I saw like a pair of shoes. And I thought, okay, I'm interpreting in my mind, maybe it's like stepping forward. She's ready for the next journey. After a few seconds, I saw another pair of boots, then a pair of sandals, and then another. I was like, what's going on? She's like, started laughing. When I was in your waiting room, waiting to come in, I was quickly scrolling and doing online shopping for the shoes. That's the information that was coming through.
But what information you're getting from me? I'm asking.
The intention is always for the healing. I prefer to get the information that would help you make your life better in some way. And that can sometimes bring up a lot of things. But overall, you have a beautiful energy, very calming presence. Yes.
Oh, thank you. I thought you were going to say the opposite.
No, you.
Because people who live close to me, they think I'm very intense. So you said calm. Thank you so much. And it's on record. So I'm glad.
Yeah, you can show it to your family anytime. Say, I'm a very calm
A
person.
very calm person. Akashic records. Were you ever scared of tapping into something, you don't want to say? Has that happened to you?
Yes, there are incidents that are, because the thing is, as human beings, if we receive something good, joyful, beautiful, loving, we don't need to process it. It's already gone. Anything that brings fear, anger, or sadness in us, that we store in our energy bodies, and that is what gets passed on from life to life. So, of course, when we are doing the healings, we see many of the incidents like that where violence has happened. When I started doing these readings for clients, for the first 2 years, I used to go into every single detail, and they would be having tears in their eyes. I would be having tears in the eyes and just feeling all the emotions and letting it go. At the end of the day, it is still a story the mind is telling us. What's happening now is also a story. What happened then is also a story. So if we can find a way of, without going into the story, symbolically releasing it, that's much better. So these days I usually look into what's the pattern that's coming up and releasing that. So I don't go into the Akash looking for them. When it's really needed, they do come up. So I'll give you an example. I had a client who works in a big organization, and there was someone who was joining her team. She had not even met this person, but only communication was through email, and she started feeling this anger towards this person and feeling that everything that person was saying or doing was disrespectful. The emotion was not in proportion to the situation. And we went into the past lives, and there was a past life in which this person had murdered this person.
Wow.
So that anger was carrying through. So without even meeting them in person, her energy could pick that up, that equation. So we moved into forgiveness and compassion. I said, it is your choice. Now you're in a position of power. You can either, do the karmic way, or you can choose to have compassion, forgive, and let this go. So she opted for the compassion and forgiveness. And even after that person came into the team, there were still times when it was very triggering. But because she was aware of what is happening, she was able to hold space, avoid those scenarios, and go through it with ease. Otherwise, it would have been a constant conflict in the workplace.
Wow.
Yeah.
Isn't this interesting? I think Gurbani says about it as well, that people, especially the ones we have not forgiven, they keep coming back to our lives. Yeah. So every person we meet in this lifetime is there for a reason.
Yes. In all the work I have done, and I have a lot of clients, and I myself have felt like, okay, you go through a phase where you think, I'm healing something, I'm letting go of something, I'm learning a lesson. Okay, it's a challenge. And it becomes tiring after a while, because sometimes the same pattern comes back again, and you feel like we dealt with it a year ago and it's back again, this pattern. So I asked, I said, what is this? Like, do I have to live my whole life resolving this work? And the answer I was given was, don't look at it as a lesson to be learned or a karma to be cleared. Look at it only as an opportunity to increase your capacity to hold love.
Be a vessel.
Be a vessel.
I'm a Sadhguru follower. There's a quote on his page every single day. I don't remember the exact quote, but the crux of it was, if you need a great painting, you need an empty canvas.
Yes.
So you have to continuously work on emptying yourself to be a vessel. Energy could flow through. You can pour into other people's cups. Is that right to say?
Yes.
Wow. So tell me, someone who is not into meditation, how should they deal with it if they are not open to Reiki just yet, or any sort of meditation?
It's very interesting because I usually run workshops on what I call choosing your meditation style based on your Ayurvedic body types. We are not all the same. So according to Ayurveda, the whole world is made of Panch Mahabhut: space, air, fire, water, and earth. And we are all a combination of that. So Ayurveda hones into that air and space is vata, which is movement. So all the movement that is happening in the body, in our mind, in our emotions, around us is the domain of vata. In the same way, fire is transformation. We cook the food on outer fire. The inner digestion cooks the inner food. The heart cooks the emotions, the words we have received, and it processes it, changes it into something that we are. And earth and water make kapha. So that is the structure, the cohesion, the thing that holds everything together. In the body, it's the bones, the muscles that are holding everything together, the fluid in which everything is happening, and in our outer lives. Now, what I have found is that if you are air, and I say sit still, how is that possible? And that is the biggest thing, because people do not understand who they are. So when they know there's a predominance of air, so what do you do with the toddler who's running around? You let them run around and then they just lie down, they crash. So you have to let the kinetic energy build up to a point where it exhausts itself, and then the stillness that comes naturally. It's not forced. So what happens here is, with the Bhagavad Gita, like we talk about Karma Yoga, Gyan Yoga and Bhakti Yoga. So for the people who do not understand meditation, they can find their pathways through these. So if Vata is here and is always moving, Karma Yoga is acts of service, and we want to build the energy to a point till it falls to stillness. So we can go for walks, we can do dancing like Sufi dervishes, we can listen to the music, we can sing, we can do chanting, we can do writing, backward counting, breathing exercises like pranayama. As you can see, all of them build it up to a point, and then you fall into the stillness. If you don't want to do that, acts of service, because Vata type people anyways, they cannot sit still. Okay, what can I do next?
I am Vata. Sorry to interrupt, but please go.
So in our culture, like, it's very beautiful, Gurdwara jaake seva kar lo. That is an act of service. But what it does for those people is, I'm doing this for God. So they are not taking the ownership of that action. Then it becomes a nishkam karma, and it helps to release their mental tension and pressure.
Just few days ago, we did a podcast on yoga. We were talking about volunteering. We don't expect anything out of it when we go and do it. And doesn't matter what sort of work it is, we just do it because we are offering ourselves. And there's a beauty in it. So you can do the offering, you can do the seva. And that's one of the basic principles of Sikhi as well, right?
Yes.
So I always tell my kids that 3 things.
Naam japo,
Kirt karo, van chako. So they always ask, what is my kirat? I don't earn. I'm like, your kirat is your studies.
Yes.
Play, share. Very nice. So they can do seva. Either they can do some physical activity. You said dancing. Gym counts?
Intention counts. We all know of someone who is trapped in a corporate job. They don't love the environment, they don't love the colleagues. They're like, why do I have to go there? So what I say to them is that when you walk into the office, imagine that you are an angel sent by the divine, or you are a being filled with golden light, and your only job there is to spread that golden light.
Manjot ji, it's easier for you to say it and probably for me to understand it as well. But sometimes when people are stuck, it's hard for them to see it. I know, and I'm saying it from the perspective of who I used to be.
Yes.
I can't see that I'm doing seva here. So in that particular moment, when people are stuck in their patterns, what is it?
An analogy to explain to you. Say you have set in your GPS, you're driving from here to Phillip Island. That is sort of the destination. Yes, but you don't always follow that same path. Sometimes you take a wrong exit. But at the end of the day, the GPS will still take you there. She won't stop till you get there. It is about the journey. In the journey, like we talked about before, it is about the acceptance. My place right now is here, so I am here. And when the time is right, I will be out of this place. Till then, there are certain actions I can do, but choosing to do them from a place of love or gratitude, not from a place of fear. When the time is right, I will be taken out from this scenario. That helps to reduce the inner turmoil, the inner conflict. Like I had a scenario yesterday, the client, her partner, she felt he was paying attention to this other woman. So her anger was towards this woman. Why can't she stay in her boundaries? Why is she talking like this to my partner? And she said, I'm feeling jealousy. And I said, step back. What you are wanting is that attention that your partner is giving to that person. You want that attention. And then I said, go deeper. Where did this come from? The need for attention. The deeper thing was like, I am the second choice. And then we went into where it is coming from, the inner child. And that was happening when she was 8 because her mom forced her to have a haircut when she wanted a long hair. And then it was even deeper because she was the third daughter and her mom wanted a son. So she was the second choice. So that I am the second choice, they preferred a boy and I was a girl. That kept happening. So when we released that, when we got into there and did the forgiveness practice, understanding that things happen for a reason, she's not a second choice anymore. That gave her the power to look at that scenario from a different perspective. It shifted the whole way of looking. So what I say is the world is the way it is, but we are looking it through dirty windows. And then we blame the world to be a dirty place. But when you clean the window, you realize it can be a beautiful place. And that's what we don't know. We are not trained for it. Our schools don't train for it.
No.
Our schools from childhood is like, don't be angry, don't be sad, don't cry, don't be loud, don't talk too much, don't move too much, sit down and be quiet and listen. So we are taught that there is an authority outside of us that we have to listen to and follow to. If we don't, there is consequences. But no one teaches us how to deal with the emotions that are happening inside and how to connect with that inner authority. Unfortunately, fortunately, I don't know, after the lockdowns have opened, I've had lots of children from 4 to 13-year-olds especially who are struggling with behavior issues, anger, separation anxiety, and they are coming in. But the beautiful thing about children is because they don't have that many conditionings yet, they are open to the idea of symbolically using their intuition to work with it.
Wow.
What I do is I teach very simple tools to work with, okay, when anger comes, this is what we are doing. When sadness comes, this is what we are doing. And I help the parents to learn those tools as well so they can help each other. And it's funny how many times the kids say, my mom needs to do this. My dad needs to do this.
You're right. After 2020, I think the perspective of the world has shifted. I think everybody is some way or the other looking inside for the answers, which is good. We are talking about emotion. So I want to ask you at this stage, and because you mentioned children, is it important for us to let our children actually let them be and not tell them to behave in a certain way, express their anger if they have anger, because it could be built in from previous life?
As you know, anger is energy. Nuclear fusion reaction in the sun has been giving life to Earth, and nuclear fusion reaction in atomic bomb destroyed generations. Yes, it is important to acknowledge that they are feeling the anger, but as an adult, we can give them the boundaries. Say for my son, when he is angry, I say, I understand you are upset with this situation. You can go and scream into your pillow. You can go outside and stamp your feet, but you are not allowed to break anything. You can punch the pillow or you have that boxing bag. You can do that, but not in a destructive way, but you can still let go of that anger. Emotion has two aspects. So think of it, when you feel a sadness, the first is the energetic component that comes. You are standing, you have a thought, and the sadness comes. Your tears fill up, your heart constricts, and you feel that. If you breathe through it, it will pass because it's a wave. It has to go. It cannot stay there forever. What causes suffering is the second part, the intellectual engagement. When we start analyzing, oh, I'm feeling sad, I'm remembering this happened, this shouldn't have happened, maybe I should have done this, why didn't I do this is still happening, that's when the suffering comes.
We can only help our children if we understand our emotions better.
Yes.
Otherwise, we can't.
That's why all the sessions with children are done with the parents there. And that's why I'm saying the kids are very funny. They will say, my mom needs this.
Kids are the best judge. They get the worst out of you. They also get the best out of you.
Yes. The thing is, everything in the world is made up of atoms. And atoms are 99.9% empty space. And everything is a frequency, everything is a vibration. Our thoughts, our feelings is a vibration. But in the quantum field, where these particles are, everything moves with intention. So don't think about an elephant right now. What did you think about? Wherever the attention goes, there the energy flows. From Lamhe movie, Sridevi did an angry dance. I don't know if you have seen that movie or not. Sometimes to some Australian clients, I give that clip to just use that music, that beat, to let go of their anger.
Tandav.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So play that music so that you can move your body and let go of that anger.
I am very amateur in Hindu mythology, but all I know is that Lord Shiva, he used to do Tandav when he was angry.
Well, it's interesting. It's an interpretation that he is angry. If the creation kept happening Say, for example, even a tiny thing like ants. If there were ants and they never died, think what would happen to the world. The natural balance will be disturbed. It is like these forces are constantly maintaining the homeostasis.
Okay.
So one aspect is creation, which we have named Brahma. And then there is a maintenance, the homeostasis for a certain time that keeps happening. And then there is entropy, law of entropy. The destruction starts happening because it's time.
And Lord Shiva is the...
His domain is the destruction, to
Destruction.
let things come to an end.
So
New
the ending
beginnings
is a
can
new
happen.
beginning, basically.
Exactly. Even think of yourself. The old you had to be destroyed so that new you could be born.
Absolutely. We are so attached to being who we are intellectually. I was always scared to be alone. Even with my kids. I mean, my kids were babies then, but so I would constantly keep on calling one person. He didn't answer. Next person, she didn't answer. Next person. And then if nobody answered, I would be stuck in my own fearful thoughts. And I don't know, I clearly remember I was just washing dishes. It was very physically visible to me. Why am I doing this? And that one particular day, I stopped it. People get stuck with they are very identified with who they are.
Yes. That's the journey of the lifetime we are on. That's enlightenment. What I explain to people is there is a you and there is an idea of who you are. If we are aware of both of them, it becomes easy. But sometimes people are so dissociated that they think they are this person and someone else, but you never do that. And they don't even realize that they are not even that person they are thinking. Because a lot of people come with that, I'm feeling stuck, nothing is moving, nothing is shifting, I'm trying meditation, I'm doing everything. And I say sometimes we have to have patience. We have to think we are a seed that has been planted. And even though we cannot see all the things that are happening behind the veil, trust that things are happening there. And when the time is right, that seed will grow. So we also explain it as the stillness. Many people in meditation try to go into stillness. And some people you might have met who say, oh, I sit for 2 hours every day in meditation. And then you look at them and you're like, really? Where's the compassion? Because stillness can be sattvic or tamasic. Tamasic stillness is of the rock sitting on the surface of the earth. Is there any change happening? It can stay the same for 1,000 years, maybe a little bit of cracks. But sattvic stillness is the stillness of the seed that has been planted. So while it has been planted, it's growing roots, shoots, breaking open its surface, crawling through the earth.
Until the seed becomes that little sapling and sees the light, they don't know that
what's happening.
So
we
they
can't
just feel
see
they are
it.
trapped in the
Yes.
darkness.
Yes. You don't dig out the seed every day to see what's happening. You just plant it. But that is what acceptance is. Okay, I am in this moment right now. Okay, I'll do whatever I can. And some days it might be, I can't do anything. But problem with the mind is, we say, why are you sitting? Because we have been culturally conditioned like that.
I can relate to that because I'm Vata. Maybe I'll get a consultation from you and then you can judge me. But this is my own observation on myself that I am definitely Vata dominant. Used to get exhausted because so many thoughts are running. I am also running. To gain what? I don't know. I'm saying it very openly now because we've been very, financially secure, it's a blessing to be in, when you're immigrants to a different country. But because I'm Vata, I need to constantly do something. One venture, other venture. Yes, I do have kids, but as soon as I sat down, I used to be like, why am I sitting down? I used to get tired very quickly. So it's like the air is, foof, foof.
Yes.
I think it's like that, right?
Yes.
Now, I know when I'm on the go, I'm on the go. And because I do pranayam now, so my monkey brain is all calmed down, which is good. Thanks to Sadhguru. But then now when I sit down, I sit down. Because number one, I think I have released the patterns. My Prakriti, I have accepted it. And sometimes when I'm sitting down and I feel, no, I have to get up, I quickly snap out of it because I know that it's okay to be, having a restful day is what I need. Maybe someone else doesn't need it. My husband, I think he's fire. Always on the go, full of passion, never gets tired. And I look at him and then I compare myself. My goodness, he's doing so much. Why can't I do that much? In my observation, at least, Vata people do need restful phases. I think during the day also, if you nap a bit, it's good. It's different with fire people. Correct me, please.
That's true. This is the common misconception again. When we learn about something, we think, oh, it's bad. But think of it, the air can get where no fire, earth, water can go. It can go in the crevices. So Vata people are very creative. by nature they are into communications, media, art, because they can create imaginary worlds like no one else. So the best way to work with it is have it as a gentle breeze, because if air stops you get stuffy. So idea is to maintain a gentle breeze, which happens when there's the right temperature. If there's too much a temperature or pressure variation, hurricanes, cyclones will happen. So we are avoiding the pressure variation, a consistency in the lifestyle, in the routine, so there can be a gentle breeze all the time that is happening.
But that's hard when you're living with people who are fire around you.
Yeah, but that is not, you have to work with them.
Yes.
This is another thing. Like if there is a bonfire, air can actually bring it down or take it up or just maintain.
Yes.
So again, coming back to that balance, the idea of always being balanced.
And I think pranayam do help you balance that. I feel actually very empowered because I know my own self better.
That's the biggest philosophy, know thyself.
I think I'm still on that quest. I think it never ends because there are so many layers to yourself and I'm still doing along the way. I don't think it's stopped. I'll have to work towards it. But I think it's a journey.
Again, the acceptance. So I tell my clients, kids have that art thing, scratchy art thing, where there's a design, but it's covered with black paint. It's still a design and it looks beautiful even when it's black. And when they are scratching it off, even if they have done one portion or two portion, it's still beautiful. And when they have scratched it all off, there's a beautiful lighter design that comes through. So I tell my clients, don't wait for perfection. Don't think you have to get perfect. Every point of this journey is when you started, even in that darkness, you had this beauty. And when you reach that light, it will be beauty. And in between, this is not messy. This is just bringing to light different aspects of you, and it's still beautiful. So if we can do that for ourselves, I'm good right now. I can be better, but that's okay. I'll keep doing what I'm doing.
So in terms of Reiki, what all can Reiki heal? So for the wider audience, some people think Reiki is just mindfulness. It's only to help you calm down. If you have encountered some certain situation, it's only for that.
So Reiki itself is a Japanese word, which means universal energy. Rei means universal. Ki, chi, prana is the energy. So even if you look at Jesus healing people or Krishnji healing people or Guru Nanak healing people, that's all energy. That's the life force, the universal energy that we are all made of, and it's accessible to every single person. What people usually talk about is Usui system of Reiki. So that comes from Dr. Mikao Usui, who had a revelation after his 21 days fasting meditation, and then he had the healing hands and he passed it on to his students on how to heal other people. And that is a particular traditional Reiki system, and then there's a Western Reiki system, and now it's developed into a lot of forms. To come to the basics, it's a life force energy which is available for us for anything and everything, because it's creating anything. Everything is created from energy. The biggest part of the healing journey is hope. When the doctors say to cancer people, there's no hope, that's it, you're done. That kills them more than the disease itself. So Reiki is a tool which gives us a hope that there is a power greater than us that can help us. Then we can apply it to any situation. You can apply it to changing your behaviors, controlling your emotions. I've applied it to reading. Before starting studying, I would say, Reiki, help me understand this quickly and remember what I need to remember. Almost universally, when students sit to study, they're like, oh, this is going to be hard. This is going to take a long time. I'm not going to understand it. I'm not going to remember everything. That's where our thoughts are. So I just ask them to change the thought pattern to, okay, whatever I'm going to read, I'll understand it quickly and I'll remember what I need to remember. I've used it for physical things as well. So sometimes I've been in trouble. My phone battery died and I needed it. So I just said to Reiki, keep it going till I have made this call. I've used it on my laptop because you know how it has a habit of freezing right before sending that most urgent, important email. So I do the Reiki on my laptop. Just let me send this email through, please. And that happens.
So you can do your own Reiki. So I can go and learn Reiki.
Yes. So the Reiki teachings are on 3 levels. Okay. Yes, I teach. So Reiki level 1 is when you do it for yourself, for self-healing, friends and family. In that you receive a set of attunements that helps you to heal yourself. Then Reiki level 2 is a practitioner level course where you can set up your business and you can offer Reiki healings to other people. Reiki level 3 is a master teacher course where you learn how to pass on the attunements, how to teach others about Reiki, and then you can teach as well.
So you're the master.
I'm the master teacher.
So you can teach as well,
yes,
and you can heal as well.
Yes.
Now, I think there is a lot available on YouTube about Reiki as well. I have not tapped into it. If someone was to go and learn something about Reiki online and just apply it, is it recommended?
Yes, like I said, it is universal life force. Actually, all the answers are always within our heart. Sometimes people come and say, oh, I don't know what to do. And I say, okay, if the universe gave you a written guarantee that no matter what choice you made, it is going to be the best choice. Everything will go good. Would you ever be afraid of making a choice then?
No.
So it is the fear that stops us from listening to the heart. Someone invites you for a coffee, you don't want to go. But you say yes because other person will be offended. Yes, read books about it, watch the videos, but like I say, use your discernment. And everyone has a different flavor. So some things would work better for you. Like we said, for Vata, Karma Yoga, acts of service work. For Pitta, it's Gyan Yoga. They need the knowledge. They need to know analysis. They need to logically understand why things are happening. Whereas Kapha or Bhakti Yoga, they need a relationship with something. If you explain to them, this is how it works, it's not enough. If they have an emotional connection to why they're doing it, then they will be motivated and inspired. So read everything, but check in with your heart. Does this feel true for me? So yes, learn, read the books, watch the meditation videos, watch other people, but always check in with your heart. Does this feel true for me? Is this right for me?
So everybody, you see that we are all living still in that herd mentality.
Yes.
And want to copy, but it's no one size fits all.
Biggest trouble was when the raw salad fad came out. Everyone was like, we are eating raw food. But you are Vata type. Your digestive system won't work with it. You don't need raw food.
No, I did that for a long, long time until I got this enlightenment within myself. What am I doing to my body? I actually lost pretty much all my hair because I was exaggerating the Vata within me. Until I realized the things that I actually savor are the things my body need. I savor ghee. I like sweets. These are the things that my body need. Maybe somebody else's body doesn't need anything, but my body needs this. I think that's the thing for our Ayurveda session.
But it's for everything. Know yourself and stay centered in your heart. Check your fears.
Even if it's listening to music.
Whatever works.
That brings you back to yourself, your true self.
Yes.
Do that. Thank you so much for coming, Dr. Manjot. It was a really informative session. I really enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed as well, having a conversation.
Did too, yes.
Please tell us about yourself. Where can we find you?
So my clinic, Essence Ayurveda, is in Preston. You can book the sessions for either Ayurvedic consultation therapies or intuitive healing or past life healing. And I work from little babies to elderly, all ages, most of the conditions. But I also work online. So that's another gift from COVID. And I can work through Zoom. Online healing sessions can happen because there's no time and space. I also run a lot of workshops and events, so you can check all that information on my website and Facebook page. And if you are keen to learn, then yes, please reach out.
So your Facebook page all is Essence Yoga.
Ayurveda.
Essence Ayurveda, sorry. And you have Instagram page as well?
Yes.
YouTube channel, I suppose?
Yes, they are all under Essence Ayurveda or Manjot Garcha.
Manjot Garcha.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for this information. We'll put all these in the description box so that audience can know and reach out to you. And the best part is you work online. So amazing. Thank you so much.
Thank you. My pleasure.